Hello there, this is Roberto Matthews. I wanted to let you know of a cool way to add a gallery to your Blogger post, especially since I don't like to have it hosted in another place. I like to have it hosted by Google itself. I like to have all my photos in Google. I like to be able to manipulate the gallery myself. So I'm going to show you first how to do a picture gallery, and then in a later video I'm going to show you how to do a text gallery with a nice background. So this way you can show a whole bunch of photos and be able to do it on your phone or on your iPad or whatever it might be. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add our pictures. Now before we add our pictures, of course you could add them here on the compose area of your post, but that will add a lot of extra code that you have to deal with. So what I highly recommend is that whatever you're going to add to the gallery, we're going to add it to the HTML. Now what's going to happen is, well, let's just go ahead and do that. So we're going to add 6 pictures here. So we're just going to use these 5 pictures from this gallery, okay? Okay, some nice garden pictures just to kind of have something to add there, okay? So we're going to add these pictures. This really doesn't matter because we're going to change that later. And here are your pictures. If you go back to the compose, you can actually just see that the pictures have no formatting. They're just one after the other here. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is in the HTML, we're going to add our areas that we're going to put everything together. So of course, you're going to have any information you want, like the title or whatever. But we're going to just add 2 little divs. We're going to add a div of ID text box. We're going to close that div, and then we're going to add a div of, oh, sorry, not a div. We're going to have the image, and we're going to have an ID of the image of gallery image, or we can just put gallery box or something like that. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to put gallery image. That way I'll remember what it looks like. And then we're going to just close the tag. So we're not going to actually put any information here unless you want to put an alt tag here. Gallery image. You really don't need to put anything because we're going to source all this in the JavaScript. Okay. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open a script tag. We're going to put type is text JavaScript. Real easy. And we're going to close it. Script. Thank you. And then we're going to put a few variables, okay? Now, there's many ways to do this, but this is the way I like to do it. It's very simple, and that way I can change it very easily in the future. So the first variable is going to be my first pick. Now, I highly recommend not to use a long variable name. That way you can manipulate it very easily. So I'm just going to put pick1. And my pick1 is going to be whatever it is. And since I believe I have 5 pictures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 pictures, I'm going to put 5 of these. So I'm going to copy this, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, and pick 5. Just like that. Okay? So now all we have to do here is add the source to each one of these. Now to keep track, what I've done is I've actually just did that and this right here. That way I can keep track of where I am. But of course, any kind of way you want to do it is fine. Another way to keep track is to actually say Apple X or Control X to cut whatever it is and then paste it in here. And that way you can kind of keep track too. So here's the Gallery 2 image. Then cut that, paste it in here. Here's the Gallery 3 image. Where are you? This is Gallery 4. Here's Gallery 3 right here. Cut that, paste it in here. Gallery 4 image. Copy, paste it in there, and gallery 5 image. So as you can see, all I'm getting is the source, and I'm going to put it in here. And then we can make sure that all this is just fine. So now that we did all that, and we could just go ahead and delete this. So now we have this part of the source. We have all of our variables populated with the photos. Now we're going to make a new variable of the photo array. And then the photo array will be real easy. All we have to do is put P1, P2, P3, P4, and P5. Now, if you're not familiar with arrays, just remember that the first digit is 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll get what I'm talking about in a second. So that's another variable we're going to put here. The next variable we're going to put is just a number variable, which is we're going to put integer equals 0. Now, it could be any letter of the alphabet, but traditionally it's this I right here. And then we're going to load the very first picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new variable called gallery, or gal, it doesn't matter, gallery picture. And that gallery picture is going to be, we're going to get from the document, oops. And what we're going to get is the actual image right here, this image right here. So let me push it over. So this image right here is what we're going to get. So the ID is gallery image. So we're going to copy that, put that in here. And now when we're going to get to the gallery image, we're going to get this gal right here, this variable. It makes everything easier. Okay, so now we're going to load the very first image so that when we get on our page, so right now we don't have anything, just gallery image. Okay, so when we get in there, what we want is a first picture to load. So we're going to say the gallery source is going to equal to the first picture from the array. So to call that up, you're going to go array first picture, and remember the first picture is 0. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and now there's several things we could do. We can do buttons to go through everything, and we could do fadeaways, and we can do auto. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a series. The first part of the series is going to be the gallery type, where you can just click to next and click to previous. So that's what we're going to do first. So since we're going to do that, let's go ahead and create our buttons. So we're going to put this in a new div so that we can center the buttons and all that. Okay. So div, then ID is going to be buttons. And actually, I don't have to ID it since I'm going to do inline styling. And then we're going to put our first button in there. And then we're going to go next. No, previous goes to the left. And then next. And right here, we're going to put a couple of formulas. I'm sorry, of functions. So actually, we're going to create our functions. Right, we're going to put what we're going to put the functions on right here. So on click, we're going to call a function, and the function is going to be prev function. Okay, and right here we're going to say on click, and we're going to call a function called next, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to create our functions down here. So the first function we're going to do is our previous function. Actually, let's do our next function first. That way it's a little easier to look at, and then we could just copy and paste. So we're going to open up our function here, and the first thing we're going to tell it is that we're going to increment our I variable that was right here. So we're going to increment that I variable. That way it goes to the next one and to the next one. The next thing we're going to say is that our gallery source equals the array. And now we're going to tell it that whatever number the array is, that's the array what's going to show. So we're going to tell it that it's going to be whatever this number is. So if it's 0, then it's going to show the 0, 1. If it's 1, because it adds 1, it's going to be 1, which is this picture, etc., etc. Okay? Then we're going to say if, we're going to open up our if statement. We're going to say if I is less than the length of the gallery. So the array, less than the array. Now the array length is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long. But as we told you before, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to say array length minus 1. That way we don't have an empty area here. Then what we want to happen is when that happens, if it's bigger, if it goes to this last one, we want it to go back to this first one. So after, that's how we loop it. So we're going to go from this first one to this next one here. So if it's bigger than this, we want to reset everything. So we want the gallery source to equal p array 0. Yeah, we want it to go back to the beginning. And we want our I to equal 0. Okay? So then, that way we make sure that this goes back to 0. Okay? So now we save this. We go back to this, we refresh. And now, remember that this bottle right here is the first one. We're going to go to that one, 4, 5, and back to 1. See? Now that part of the photo gallery works. And we're just going to do the same thing with the previous button. So we're just going to take this and copy it. And now we're going to call this prev. Now instead of incrementing, we're going to decrement, just like that. And then we're going to still say that the gallery source is I. Okay. And if I this time is less than 0, so once I is less than 0, we're going to do the gallery source. Now this time, the gallery source is going to be whatever this is. So make sure you say 0, 1, 2. The gallery source is going to be 5. So if I went up to the 11, then it would be 11. I'm sorry, not 5, 4. It's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be gallery source p array 4. So it's going to be the fourth one. And I is going to equal 4 so that we can continue decrementing. Okay? So basically, I'm going to load up the fourth one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to load up number 4 and then keep going backwards. And let's see what happens there. Refresh this. Now we can go backwards. Very good. So now we got the forward, we got it backwards, and then people can take it as long as they want to look at everything. So of course you can put this any kind of way you want. For example, we could make this text box. We could style it and make the width 100%. Or max width 600 pixels. That way, if it goes on a cell phone, it'll be smaller. And then we could also do margin 0 auto, so I could center. We're going to take this border off of this here, X, and we're going to add the border to this. That way, the border will be around the actual picture. Let's refresh. And that's much nicer. The border wraps around the entire picture here. And again, if we look at the cell phone version, that's what it looks like. Very nice. So that's how people can look. And of course you can make this bigger and have it really nice. Now, the next video, like I said, is going to be how to make this do it automatically. So when they come to the video, and when they come to the blog, it'll actually loop for you. So stay tuned for that. Have a great day.